Um, hey guys, Tom Lobianco here, editor, co-founder of 24 Site News with Tara
Wait,
Palmeri.
wait, Tom, real quick. Maybe we should wait until we get more people than like 12 in the room. Like, let it kind of like build a little bit.
Oh, we're recording too, and I'll be posting this
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Oh, I guess you're right.
It'll go. Tara Palmeri is nonstop, guys. Dude, seriously. I do stop. I sleep. Okay, Tara does not get that luxury because
Yeah.
Tara, you are, I mean, you have been doing, you continue to do incredible reporting on Epstein, and
Thank you.
especially what I feel like everybody talks about Trump, 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 and
Right.
nobody talks about what happened to the victims.
Mm.
So that's why I want to talk with you because you did this incredible podcast about 5 years ago. All right, guys, and if you haven't already, all right, so while you're out there looking for good content, go find Broken. All right, it was done by Tara Palmeri and Julie K. Brown, two people who really understand this the best. Okay, go find that. It's published 5 years ago, wherever you find good podcasts. I was listening to it over the weekend, and I was floored. You
Yeah.
traveled the country and you knocked on doors, and
Yeah.
so I just wanted to ask you about it. Like, what did you learn in this? How was it?
I mean, so I, it was a labor of love, I guess you could say. But, we wanted to corroborate the stories of the victims because, unfortunately, they're often disregarded. They're called liars. They were called child prostitutes when the case first was closed. And I think Jeffrey also saw them that way, especially the young ones who came from poor families in Palm Beach. I mean, he
Jesus.
thought he could get away with it and that there would be no repercussions because who cares about these people, right? He dehumanized them in so many ways. But it was really, important to me and to our team, Julie K. Brown, Adam Davidson, Adam McKay, just to, like, truly do some true weather reporting and find people who could say, like, "Yes, I was there. I saw this.
Mm.
I saw that." We spoke to the houseman, Juan Alessi, who ended up being a very critical witness in the case against Ghislaine Maxwell because he picked up the girls and he brought them into the house. He saw Prince Andrew there. He saw the men coming in and out. You couldn't walk in this house, as Virginia used to say, and others, and not think it was weird to see man in his 50s, teenage girls, pictures of naked girls everywhere. It smelled of depraved behavior, and even the way that they sort of boasted with boasted about the sort of bacchanal behavior. Like they were almost grooming
Yeah.
the people around them to feel like this is normal.
Yeah.
This is normal depraved behavior. It's okay. We treat young girls like this, or we treat girls, some of
Yeah.
them that are, some of the girls were 18 or 17 or 18. I think in a lot of cases there were girls who were over 18.
Yeah.
But Jeffrey liked to keep the young ones for himself. And and they wanted the people around them to feel comfortable with this because, like, you if I walked into a house and I
Yeah.
saw a 50-year-old
That's-
man and a bunch of
yeah.
girls hanging around topless, or a bunch of pictures of naked girls that look underage, I'd be creeped out and I'd walk out the door.
Yes.
I don't care how big your
The
mansion is.
fuck.
Yeah, I don't care how much money you're worth. And so a part of that was Galen's role, and Galen's role of
Mm-mm.
normalizing this. Not only did she have the role of normalizing this, signaling to people that she's a part of this posh society, Oxford graduate, father's a former press baron, but also,
Yeah.
she's has the Rolodex. She connects into princes and presidents and really high profile people, experts, and the type of people who are celebrated, and she validates him. And so that's why, I've spoken to some victims over the past few days. I mean, I call them survivors because they really are.
Yeah.
And what they have said is that the fact that the government is interviewing the fact that they're taking a woman who perjured himself, twice, and taking her word right now and wanting to hear from her rather than calling them. rather than looking at their files and following up on the names that were mentioned there, it really feels like a re-victimization in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Because again, they're just not taking their word. And they're just wondering what are they gonna get from talking to this woman who's a liar, who says that she's a victim herself. I mean,
Yeah.
every all of these girls have the same story. It is so consistent. And I mean, even her friends, the way that they describe her,
Yeah.
it's just it's really shocking. And but I don't understand what they're doing. I mean, obviously, she's going to get some sort of deal, or she's going to get some sort of clemency, or there's got to be a reason for her to talk. Pardon, I don't know, but it's just not. It's
Yeah.
truly heartbreaking for these girls, especially someone like Annie Farmer, who I spoke to, who said, "I have I have had to live through the trauma I experienced when I was 16, when Ghislaine Maxwell was the one who was massaging her breasts, and it was Epstein that was in the bed. It was both of them." And she said,
Jesus.
"I testified. I have given multiple testimonies, subpoenas. I have civil lawsuits. I've done all of these things. You have made me go through this over and over and over again. And now this is how my testimony wasn't enough. My
Yeah.
my recounting of the story." So it's a sad day for them. I really think that people are underestimating what this means. I know it's just become so politicized, and it's like, I don't care what political party. Truly, I
Uh,
don't. But I think that the fact that these girls are being used as pawns, like they've always been used as pawns, is what we need to stay focused on.
so and I mean, you've done. I've always known you for your political reporting, which has always been incredible. But I really love the shoe leather reporting and the power of you traveled with Virginia Roberts Giuffre and helped set up these meetings to be like, okay, you guys, like you witnessed this. All right, Juan
Oh, no, we
Alessi.
didn't do meetings, we just door knocked. We showed up at
Just-
people's houses. I mean, we were pretty aggressive, like the chef, Adam Perry Lang,
yeah,
we who was there making food for her, and seeing her naked and seeing all of the people, and he had to know the names of all these prestigious guests, he had to know what they liked. Adam was a very he's now a Michelin, well, he worked in a Michelin restaurant eventually, now he's into barbecue, and he bragged that he became this great barbecue chef because of a New Mexico ranch, but never said whose. It was Jeffrey Epstein's. And he's Jimmy Kimmel's best friend. He's celebrated by Oprah. He's got books on barbecue. Little does anyone know that the way that he learned about this was from Jeffrey Epstein's world. And so Virginia thought, well, if I could just get Adam Perry Lang to testify for me, this would be really helpful. And he pretty much slammed the door in our face. I mean, not physically,
yeah,
but just said, like, "I
he
wish you the
hit.
best. My lawyer will be in
Yeah,
touch."
yeah.
I mean, it's unclear if he helped the Justice Department in the Ghislaine Maxwell case. I don't personally know that, but we got the
Right.
feeling that there was a breakdown. The only person who actually opened the door for Virginia and
Oh
talked
my
to her
God.
was Juan,
Yes.
the
Yes.
houseman.
Oh my God. It was incredible. Like, and you even said this during the podcast. Like, you're like, I can't believe this is actually happening, but he talked.
Well,
And
yeah, because everybody else was slamming the door in our faces.
yeah, like I really something you and I can't remember if it was one of the experts that you interviewed or maybe Virginia or you said it is, and this is something that people who survive sexual abuse have to deal with. All right. And for a lot
Mhm.
of folks, and this is hard, guys. Like, if you listen to me or, I usually do a lot of horse race stuff and whatnot, but this is the meat of like, this is the core of what we're living through. If you survive sexual abuse, very oftentimes people will not believe you. They will not believe that it happened. And I think it was Virginia who said, like, I just want somebody to say, I know it happened and I'm sorry. Like just somebody to acknowledge.
It's all people want sometimes, like, and it's so, I mean, the complex, it is so complex what happens to these survivors, and, the kind of impact it has on them emotionally. Like, first of all, it degrades so many of them to believe that they are not worthy for the rest of their lives. Like, Courtney Wild, for example, was another victim that I spoke to, and she fought hard to say that her crime victims' rights were violated when they hatched the sweetheart deal because they never told the victims about the deal. But it turns out that got overthrown thrown on appeal because they said, well, we never charged him in federal court, so we never had to tell you about your crime victim. We never had to tell you about the case. But the federal prosecutors were trying to get in touch with her and being like, we really want you to participate in this because you were around, you were 12 years old with braces on your teeth when you showed up on Epstein's door. And she was a part of the kind of the pyramid scheme within the high school, this Palm Beach Gardens high school.
God.
And
Yes.
and she just was like, she saw herself as a child prostitute because that's the way she was treated. And when she went to Epstein, she was like, "Oh my God, the police are coming for you." And Epstein was like, "It's okay, I'll take care of you," as if she did something wrong.
The
And it
fuck.
wasn't until the feds, this federal prosecutor Marie Villafana, brought her testimony from the other girls, including from her best friend who she recruited, she started to cry. And she started to realize, like, we're humans, actually. We deserve to be
Yeah.
protected. And it took her a long time. Like, that's people don't understand how much bravery you need to have as a Jane Doe to come out and talk. And especially when the man is celebrated, especially when the man
Yeah.
or the woman, whoever's,
Yeah.
perpetrated the crime, when they are celebrated by society, it becomes even more painful. And so sometimes if just people say to you, like, you know what? I know this happened to you, and I'm so sorry. The denials cut through even more deeply. And the sad thing, and you keep seeing this over and over and over again. The girls get the money, right? NDA, whatever it is, civil
Yeah.
suit, this and that. And what do they do with the money? They hate the money. They hate
Yeah.
the money so much. They destroy their lives with the money because to them it feels like a second payout for the prostitution or whatever, the
Mm.
pain they felt, the grief they felt, as if they were paid for their bodies again. And so in the case of Courtney Wild, she completely ruined her life. She fell into a life of drugs and she
Jesus.
ended up shoplifting or something along those lines, like a very minor crime, but ends up in this
Yeah.
horrible prison in Florida while, Epstein's doing time in a county jail and getting to wear an ankle bracelet and hanging around town. So it's like it's just so it's a really sad, sad pattern, and you see it so frequently. And the more I spent time talking to these women and the victims, the more I realized, like, the story is always the same. It's really always the same because when you've been victimized, you stop seeing yourself as worthy, and you desperately want to be validated.
Yeah.
And you desperately want someone to say, I see you, I know you, I know what this was about. And so even if like Juan could place her in the house and say, yeah,
Yeah.
I used to pick you up.
Yeah.
Nadia Borland, I believe, I don't know if we used her name in the episode, but Juan testified about her as well because he used to pick her up from her house and bring her over to Epstein's house. And she testified in the Ghislaine Maxwell story, in the Ghislaine Maxwell case.
Mm.
So there's so many pieces. And I just I just hope in all of this that the victims are not forgotten, and the way that they are feeling right now is they feel really betrayed. I mean, they really do. And they're like, call me. I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Call me. Why are you talking to Glenn Maxwell?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really like it's astounding to see, and I just it's really it's to see it happen again. I mean, and especially for a political world. And I think, like, I remember a couple of years ago during the Republican primaries when there was a movie about the child sex trafficking and the one with Jim Caviezel. I can't remember. It was the guy. But it was very popular with MAGA. And if you listen to, like, the voters, right? I think it was out in Iowa. Like, for the people who are sincere about this, right, and who are into this, they want to stop child sex trafficking. All
Yeah.
right, like in this, you can't. It's hard to blame people for the disinformation that's being fed to
Yeah.
them. So here's a real case. All right, and here's something real where it's like, okay, we don't have to deal with the tabloid. We can deal with the reality here, and
Yeah,
reality
the
is hard.
conspiracy is like, who cares? Like, I mean, not who cares, but the whole CIA, FBI conspiratorial lane of it all. Here's a conspiracy. these people got away. They got a sweetheart deal that is unheard of. I mean, perpetrators named and unnamed, co-conspirators named and unnamed never prosecuted for this. It's like it's why is it? It's as simple as he conned people. He used the women as pawns.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just that simple. And and sometimes the most simple, you know, the the it's just that simple, and that's what people can't, almost deal with. Somebody's asking, why don't
Yeah.
journalists reach out to the victims who are eager to expose the crimes? We do, and we talk to them all the time,
Yeah.
and then they're disregarded and attacked. The
Yeah.
victims, the journalists, and it takes a lot of courage, especially when the victims are so powerful and they're slapped with defamation suits if they say anything, right? And the journalists are slapped with defamation suits, and these are people, it's like a David and Goliath situation. I
Yeah.
don't think people understand it. They're like, reveal the list, as if there's a Jeffrey Epstein list. No, the survivors have their lists. Those are the lists.
Yeah.
And that's a really scary thing. And I just think that people don't truly understand the story. Does this help my team or does it help their team? It's really frustrating. And I see it from everyone. I get it's very upsetting. Like, not just from online trolls, from real people that
Yeah.
not not online. You know what I'm saying? From people
Yes. Yeah.
people
Yeah.
who should who seem to be advocates
Yeah.
for victims,
Yeah.
who seem to care about justice. And then when it comes down to, like, well, does it hurt my people or does it help my people, or is that my friend that was a part of it or was it not? And
Yeah.
that's when you start to get to this real, then that's when it starts to get dark. At least for me, I'm just like, oh fuck. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, this is the world we live in.
If you guys are just joining us, make sure. Okay, so Terra Palmeri, if you have not listened to it yet, and I spent last weekend listening to it. All right, go listen to Broken. All right, it's by Terra Palmeri, Julie K. Brown, Adam McKay, Adam Davidson. Find them on all the podcasts. This was done about 5 years ago. Okay, and
Mhm.
and Tara traveled the country with one of the survivors, Virginia Roberts Giuffre,
Yeah.
talking with the people in Juan Alessi, okay? Talking with people in the case of the celebrity chef who was, as you said just a second ago, like, was incredibly coy about, like, "Oh, what is that ranch, Adam?" Like, "Oh, I don't know. Which ranch is it?" There's, "Oh,
Yeah. I mean,
the
he wrote a
Epstein
book
ranch."
about it. Yeah. He wrote a book about it. And he said, I learned this all on a ranch in New Mexico. And it's like, yeah, the ranch in New Mexico that Jeffrey Epstein talked about using as a literal farm for breeding human beings.
The fuck?
He wanted to breed children on that farm. He
Yeah,
wanted to use Virginia to do it. They were Glenn and Epstein wanted to use Virginia to breed children.
yeah.
I mean,
It's
it's so depraved, and it just, ugh, yeah,
It's
systems.
evil. It's just like it is really like the level of it. Well, so I know you got a limited amount of time, and you're
Yeah,
talking to everybody you can about this, and thank you, Tara, because you
of
really
course.
like you're there's fake news out there that is bullshit. All
Mhm,
right, there's some real news. All right, guys, this is like the real
mhm.
shit. Okay, so what are you working on now? Are you in touch with some of the survivors? Where are you
Yes,
looking?
yes. I talk to them every single day. I'm, trying to follow up on some of the leads that we had from the Broken story, and hoping now that, as time goes on, that you can shake things loose. And there's a lot more interest, and, things have changed too. I believe I'm not very religious, but
Mm,
there is all that is hidden will be revealed.
mm,
It's a lot. It's a verse, and I really do believe that at some point these victims will get their justice. So many of them have taken their own lives, and I don't think people really understand the severity of the crimes enacted against young girls, and boys, and how it impacts them for the rest of their lives, and and how it was even more compounded when they never saw justice. And so yeah, I hope that what is hidden will be revealed,
yeah.
and that we'll know more. So yeah,
Thank you, Tara. Thanks for
thank you.
Thanks for being in the trenches. You're doing
Okay,
great.
for sure. You too, Tom. Thanks for paying attention too.
Totally.
Okay, thanks to
See ya.
everyone who's joined. Bye.